மறக்காம சர்ப்ரைஸ் பண்ணுங்க. Thank you.
If your opponent, he likes to play the Chigorin defense, you know, the defense that starts after c4 and knight c6, then why not give him bishop f4 in move number 2 in this position. And you see knight c6 here is of course playable, but I think white might get chances to get this small pull that we want to have as white. I like here to play e3 because it prevents black from playing this bishop g4. And if he now just develop his bishop to f5, then I suggest c4. We have to play c4 sooner or later to get this push in the center, get more space. I once played bishop b5. Actually, I did it in December 2011 in Copenhagen. I did win the game, but I did not manage to get any advantage. So I went back home studying how to play it, and then I came to the conclusion that c4 is the much better move. Here black should play e6 defending his center. If not, if he try to play bishop captures b1 and give a check on b4, then it's just not working. White has a clear advantage. Black doesn't get anything concrete going for that pawn. So after c4, black must play e6, and then white just develop his pieces. And he doesn't have to fear knight b4 because we have rook c1. Of course, with bishop f5 and knight c6, you always have to be aware of this possibility. So after knight c3, it leaves him no other choice but to develop, and then we play knight f3. And here after bishop e7, I somehow like Kramnik's choice, because he played this opening in 1995 against Short. He captured here on d5, and then Short captured back with his knight. If instead black is to capture with the e-pawn, then I think white can pin the knight and then simply capture on c6, because then we have destroyed his pawn structure, and this have consequences in the middle game and also of course in the end game. So here we just have the better pawn structure and thereby the better game. If he tried to pin our knight, we can just ask the bishop, and you see he is not getting rid of this bad pawn structure. He will suffer with that for a long time to come. And against Kramnik, that would be more or less suicide. That we all know. So then bishop d6, and after knight e5, black has problems, queen e8 and knight a4. And of course, we don't allow any contra on b2, so we just play b3, and this is a clear advantage. It's a position you should avoid playing black. Let's see what happened in the Kramnik short game 1995, played in Hugen, if I remember right, in Holland. Then the bishop on f4 is attacked, and Kramnik chooses just to play very slow as we know him, putting his bishop back to g3. Instead, it's also possible to play bishop b5. I'm sure a player like Michael Tal would have played that. Let's just look at it. Bishop captures bishop to b5, pinning the knight, not losing any time. And then after knight captures f4. It seems to me that also here white will get the advantage, even though he is having the bishop pair black. Then white has the better pawn structure and the better game. After queen f3, he has an advantage. So bishop g3 was Kramnik's choice, and then after castle short, he just developed very, very, very slow. And you know, as black here, you have no clear plan because you have lost your center, and you can't push e5. So white is just a bit better. And now he put his queen on d6 short, and then that gave Kramnik the idea to transfer his bishop e2 up to f3, getting a kind of Capablanca, no, not Capablanca, Catalan position with this strong bishop on the h1 a8 diagonal, and that's of course a type position that Kramnik loves and play extremely well, and has have very strong results with it. So after rook d1, c6, and knight c4, then Kramnik just had this small pull, and later went on to win the game. C captures d5, e captures d5, and then after bishop b5, I believe that, you know, black should avoid this. This is what we looked at. So after e3, black, he can't play this bishop g4 pin. Well, he can try to play in this position, knight f6, but then after c4 and bishop g4, we should not play knight f3, but just play f3. And this is normally how we react with this bishop g4 if we haven't played knight f3 yet. Now after bishop f5, for example, we just develop our pieces, putting pressure on d5, but also, you know, also b7. And if now rook b8, then we can capture on d5, and we will have the much better game here, or at least a small pool. We have the advances. I'm not quite sure whether we are talking a big or small. You would need to test that out in practice. Then we should look at, after f3, it's also possible to move the bishop to h5, and then develop the same story. If black choose to play knight a5, we give a check, we play c5, and it reminds of a bit of the introduction, the game we looked at there. Same type position, white is better. And I know that he gets his knight to c4, but I also know that we just have knight ge2 at the right moment, and then white is of course better. That just gives me the idea just to tell you that if knight f6 we play again e3, we are always waiting with this knight g1 to f3, and in case of bishop g4, yes, we answer it with f3. And you of course know how to react on bishop to f5 because of the introduction game. We play c4, and after e6 we can just go immediately to attack b7 pawn, and we could also just develop the knight to c3, and then after c6 then we push on with queen b3 and then c5, and we have the better pawn structure and the better game. So this is how you should play against the Chigorin when black plays here knight c6 in move number 2. And it's not so easy for black to equalize.
மறக்காம சர்ப்ரைஸ் பண்ணுங்க. Thank you.